You were terrible in season, like terrible. Like usually most swimmers, they're a little bit off their time. They're like, oh, when I taper, I'm going to be here for confidence sake. I want to be in this range. But like if I swam Gary Hall times in season, I would have zero confidence. For some reason, you would swim terrible in season and still come to the trial meet and be the most confident person there. I'm like, is this guy delusional? Like he's just swam 53 in the 100 free 3 weeks ago. What was behind all that?
It was always the case. I was always slow in season. I just couldn't handle the workload. I'd break down. I was just fatigued all the time. Just physiologically, there was a different, whether it's fast twitch, genetic makeup.
But did it not interest you as well? Like, did you just not care about smaller meets?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yes, that is true. So I always liked going out to California meets. I was growing up. I went to the Mission Viejo meet and the Santa Clara meet and the LA Invitational, the Janet Evans Invitational, or the one at USC as an age group swimmer. And so I loved going back to those meets. But outside of those, you know, I went to the Oklahoma City professional swim meet, I think maybe twice. But other than that, I only went to Olympic trials or trials at nationals. I didn't even go to nationals every year. I was just swimming for one meet. Once I got to the national team, I was only swimming for the Olympic Games. That's the only one I cared about.
That's true, and I saw a lot of that. But isn't it how did you get your confidence then? Like, how did you get your race strategy down pat where you feel like, okay, I just got to fall in the pool and this is going to happen? For me, with that type of strategy of like not caring about certain meets and also being, you know, fully broken down and fatigued and being so far off your best, how were you able to then go through a taper period where all of us as swimmers have those psychological questions in our mind of like, is this going to turn out the way I want it to? Am I going to end up on the 27th of June feeling better than I've ever felt before? Having all those doubts. How did you get to that point then?
I knew that I was always good about listening to my body. I was always very in tune with my body. I knew when I had to push it and when I had to back off. And I took a lot of shit for it from coaches and from teammates too. That year that I went to the University of Texas with Eddie, Eddie never really, he was concerned. He was always very nice about it in a nurturing way, but I was swimming so slow through the midseason of my freshman year at Texas, and the teammates, there were a lot of them that did not like that at all. Like I had a scholarship, they didn't, and so it created some rifts in team dynamic there. Other guys were you know, totally accepting of that, but I had to convince people over time that that's the way I operated. That, you know, mid-season, I'm going to be so slow, I'm buried. I know that there's a method to this madness, and that ultimately, and it wasn't like a hidden agenda. Like ideally, every swimmer has heard, okay, you're going to go through this phase of being broken down for such a long period of time, and then we're going to rest you, and it's going to have this trampoline springboard effect where you know, are tapered and you have all this energy, and you're going to swim great at the end of the season, right? Like that's the common formula. I just took the divot a lot lower than what most people did. And, you know, I think it was, a lot of it, I didn't have a choice. Like it was just, I would get that broken down.